My name is Roz Scott. I'm a political journalist, recently qualified from the National Council for the Training of Journalists with a diploma, and my passions are housing and terrorism, which may appear different, but the way they join up is in basically making Britain a more equal place and the world a safer place. I had a privileged upbringing. I lived overseas. I went to Cambridge University. And I guess what I'd like to do is to spend my working life doing things that I consider to be worthwhile. So I interview politicians. I love meeting people. I love listening to their stories. I'm often surprised. I will go to an event and come away with a totally different story to the one I expected to write. And I like writing to make a difference. That's the work. But the way I explain my job is that I'm working when other people are not working. So I'm the 5-minute conversation. I interview everyone, from politicians from Brighton and Hove, Caroline Lucas, who I welcome, Green MP, the first and only Green MP in Britain, people working with refugees, people campaigning about Trident, people working out how much Trident costs, and obviously politicians who govern the city locally and the country nationally. Well, I was politicised shortly after my degree, working for Simon Hughes in Bermondsey, so I lived in one of the most deprived parts of London. And the moment that stands out for me working for him is when the British National Party marched through Bermondsey after the general election was called in Bermondsey by Tony Blair in 2001. The atmosphere was horrific, and the worst thing was watching the young people with their caps turned round on their BMXs, thinking that actually racism was one of their motivations in life. The reason I found that particular march so upsetting was because I went to an international school in Brunei and there was 33 different nationalities of people there. My best friend was from Sri Lanka. And I guess working for Simon showed me he has fought to keep public services public and to tackle inequality wherever he sees it. And I would like to do the same. My method is journalism. The first blog I wrote was about Millie Dowler and the Leveson inquiry, and it was basically saying that the press needed to be held to account in the same way that politicians do. It was an intrusion into someone's private life, which for that family was devastating. I was quite surprised that I wrote that blog, but it came from the heart. So there are many people in society who have absolutely no voice at all. There are disabled people, there are old people who are living in poverty, there are homeless people who can't get a job because they don't have an address, and there are white people in Britain just as much as black people who feel that society doesn't care about them at all. Another thing I've done is written a lot of opinion pieces. I've written some about the budget, the autumn statement, the summer budget after the Conservatives were re-elected. If you would like to know about any of these projects or to read my published and unpublished work, then there are bespoke blog pieces on my blog, www.rozscott.com with a Z, or you can follow me on Twitter, Facebook or LinkedIn, and if you live in Brighton, I would very much like to meet you.